How are you guys all doing today? Today I thought it'd be fun to do an anime tower defense game tier list. So I've actually done 2 of these, I'm pretty sure, in the past. I did one basically when I first started my channel, which was around February. And then I think I did just a tower defense game tier list. So this is kind of like the second time I'm doing just an anime tower defense game. Obviously the anime tower defense game scene has changed dramatically since I made that last video. But if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you subscribe. And looking at our tier list here, we have 4 categories. We have S tier, which is being called amazing. We have A tier, which is being called great. B tier, which is good. And then C tier, which is meh. Any game that goes in meh is just like, it's meh. It's just kind of like a mediocre or okay game. Good is obviously, it's a pretty enjoyable game. You can get some enjoyment out of it and have fun. Great is obviously, it is a very good game with a decent player count and has a bunch of room to improve. And then S tier is for amazing. S tier is for the games that I personally think are the highest in the anime tower defense scene. So starting with all that, let's get started. So we actually start off with Anime Infinity. So Anime Infinity was a brand new game that came out, I think about 2 to 3 months ago. And it actually had been a really old anime tower defense game. So this is a game that had a release and a re-release. But Anime Infinity, I've made, I think, about 2 or 3 videos on it. It's pretty interesting and it has some interesting concepts, but if you want me to be honest, I think I'm going to put it in B tier. Now, keep in mind, if anything's in B tier, that doesn't mean it's bad. If something's in C tier, that means I don't like it or it's just kind of mediocre. But if something's in B tier, read what it's called. It says good. I think the game is good. So Anime Infinity obviously has some very cool ideas. One of the things is it doesn't have a story mode, which I really like because it goes back to just what tower defense games used to be, where it's just infinity based game modes that you just go till you die, which I really like. And they really push for you to use people who aren't at the top of the tier list, which I also really like. And the other thing I also like that this game has that's really special is they do a lot of characters that aren't normally seen in tower defense games, and they have a new system mechanic called links, which is basically just a copy and paste from Dokkan, where when characters in your party are right next to each other, they actually link better and they get extra stats and extra buffs, which is really, really cool. But for all that, I'm going to put it in B tier. I'm going to try and not take up too much time, so we're going to speed up through a couple of these. Next we have AWTD. So Anime World Tower Defense is a game that I'm sure a lot of people know. It is very old at this point and has gone through many different iterations, and I don't want to say re-releases, but reinventions of itself. But currently where AWT is right now at its stage of life is I'm going to put it in A tier for great. I actually think Anime World Tower Defense has the best gameplay for a tower defense on Roblox, but I think they update too inconsistently, and I think some things like the UI and the lobby look a little ugly. And also, they have a pretty bad update schedule. I think if they sorted these issues out, they would easily be in S tier, but I think for that, I'm going to put them in great tier. It genuinely holds the game back. Next, we have Anime Adventures. Obviously, everyone knows this game by now. Anime Adventures, I'm personally, oh man, this hurts to do because obviously I started my channel in Anime Adventures and it's the classic OG game, but I'm going to put Anime Adventures in meh. I think Anime Adventures is genuinely, when you compare it to every other tower defense game that's out right now, it is so mediocre, which really sucks because I do love the game. Like I just said, I think it's a great game, but it really is getting held back by not just being outdated and not unique in its own way, which really sucks. Next, we have Ultimate Tower Defense. Now, Ultimate Tower Defense is obviously another really old game, and they've actually been making some crazy improvements and making the game a lot better, which is really surprising. So Ultimate Tower Defense, I think I'm going to place it in good tier. I'm going to put it right at the top of good. This is probably one of the ones on this list I've played the least. It's definitely up there, but I think it's a good game. Every time I've played it, I've enjoyed it. It's not like mega super grindy. There's a lot of fun. There's like a 30-player raise that you can do. It is cool. They have some cool ideas in that game. Next is we have Anime Realms. So Anime Realms, I'm going to do something right here called create a row below. And here's what we're going to do. We are going to make a new category called Anime Realms. And Anime Realms, we are going to put in its own category because Anime Realms is probably the worst tower defense game I think I've ever played in my life. its whole thing was that it was an anime adventurers recreation. There was a lot of scamming stuff behind the scenes. The game had literally no identity at all, and all the owners were making false promises. There's just a lot of things falling in on itself. It just was a shitty, horrible game. Excuse my language, but that's how much I hate it. Next is we have All-Star Tower Defense X. So ASD X is going to be really hard for me to rank, okay? Because I actually really enjoy it, and I've made tons and tons of videos on the game, but All-Star X, I actually think I'm going to put it at the top of great, because ACDX, I'd say the best things it has going for it is, one, it looks really good. The models look good, VFX look good, maps look good. It's got all that down. It's got the update schedule down where it's updating weekly or bi-weekly. I think that's great, but I think the thing that holds ACD back is, one, it's just a new game, so it's really hard for me to put in S because there's not a lot of content, and two, characters and character obtainment are just not unique enough. I've seen a lot of people on my other video I just made where I reviewed the ACD update say, oh, well, it's a new game and you can't be that harsh. Actually, I can, because every single new game that comes out now is more unique than All-Star, and All-Star came out a month and a half ago. Anime Infinity came out 2 months ago, and characters were way more unique than they are in All-Star Tower Defense X. That's my problem. My problem is with All-Star X, I do not want to grind a single new character because they struggle to make me want to go get a new character. But for that reason, I'm going to put it in great. I think if you ignore that, it is a good game. It is actually a great game, and I think you guys should go try it because it looks like they are trying to get better, which I really do appreciate. But yeah, moving on, we got Anime Defenders. So Anime Defenders, I'm just going to drop it right here in C tier. It's a meh game. It is definitely worse than Anime Adventures in my opinion, because at least if you were stuck between these two games and you had to pick up and play one of them, Anime Adventures, at least you'd have a lot of content to do, and there is some personality to the game, at least a little bit. Anime Defenders, God. Anime Adventures basically is the new Anime Defenders, so man, Anime Defenders is bad. I'm sure you guys all know about it. I'm not even going to talk about it, but next we have Anime Final Strike. So Anime Final Strike is a brand new anime tower defense game. This one came out around the same time as ASD X, and basically Anime Final Strike's whole gimmick is it's really similar to ALS and Anime Vanguards with the UI and the gameplay. It actually has a lot of similarities, and it is starting to define itself in its newest updates into its own game, which I actually really do enjoy, but there are some things holding it back. From what I heard, game's Fire Force update was a big flop, and a lot of people didn't really like it. And the Dragon Ball update is basically just 2 characters, so a lot of people don't like it for that either. But Anime Final Strike, I think I'm going to put at the top of B tier. It's going pretty strong. Its player count is still pretty decently high. On updates, it's at 10K, which is good to see. Try it out if you haven't. Hopefully the game lives, because it's not bad. It's good. Next, we have Anime Rangers X. So this is tower defense. I was debating if I should even put it on the tier list, but Anime Rangers X, we are going to put, I think, at the top of B. You could shoot me down for saying that, but Anime Rangers X has been making so many improvements since the boss bought it. I actually think there is so much to do in that game now, and the fact that it's getting weekly or bi-weekly updates as well it's going crazy. It's giving the player base a lot to play, it's giving YouTubers a lot to make videos on, and there's just a lot more for you to do in the game now, which is really great. It's getting its new lobby really soon, and it's getting a Berserk update really soon, so there's a lot coming to this game. Guys, go check it out if you haven't already. But so next we have Anime Vanguards. So Anime Vanguards, where I'm going to put it is actually probably going to anger a lot of people, but Anime Vanguards I'm going to put at the top of A. So the reason I'm putting Anime Vanguards at the top of A is because I actually think Anime Vanguards is the best tower defense game out on Roblox right now. But there is a big emphasis on the but, because they just had a very good update with this brand new summer update that brought Escanor and a bunch of summer characters to the game, which is good. And they added a bunch of features that helped the game drastically. But this is one update, guys. I would just like to remind you, Anime Vanguards is very great at having one amazing update that saves the game, and then they just kind of plateau a little bit, and then they start waning back down, which is a pattern that a lot of these tower defense games you're obviously going to notice are going to have that, but Anime Vanguards has it very bad. because they'll literally go from being the #1 played tower defense to 5k, 10k in a month or 2 months. It's just not a great look. But here's the thing I want to say. Anime Vanguards, I think in the future could be S, but I think it just needs an update or two more to prove to me that it has solidified itself in being S tier. I know I like to be super positive and glaze everything, but that's my honest opinion. S tier should be reserved for games that I find amazing. Games that I literally want to get on and play every single day. And maybe it's a little different because I create content on it, but I don't feel that with Anime Vanguards yet. I think they easily could get up there, like I said, but I'm going to keep it empty for now and save it for new games in the future. My next video, which I'm actually going to make, is going to be about the new era of anime tower defense games that is coming out, so keep your eye out for that. But next we have anime power defense. So this is actually not super old, but it's probably about a year and a half now, right? Or a year. But anime power defense is actually pretty interesting. It used to have a Souls RNG gimmick in the tower defense thing, but then they kind of changed it to just it being its own little thing, basically just equipment, which is pretty nice. But anime power defense actually has a lot of cool mechanics in the game. I think their biggest problem is just the game doesn't have enough players, and also their update schedule is kind of all over the place like Anime World Tower Defense. Sometimes they'll just take a break for like 2 months and then come back and then update for 2 weeks and then disappear again. But Anime Power Defense has a lot of unique things that actually aren't in other tower defense games as well. And they design a lot of characters around not needing the 0.1 highest trait in the game, which I do really appreciate. But Anime Power Defense, I'm actually going to put at the top of B. I think there is room to improve, but overall it's just a good game. Next we have Anime Reborn. So Anime Reborn, as we stand right now, I'm just going to put it right here in Mets here. That's just me. Anime Reborn, the last couple updates they've had with that new development team have been completely awful, and I think have killed any hopes the games have had. But they are working on a giant revamp update with a brand new team and a bunch of older devs as well, which I am very excited for. Anime Reborn is doing a huge revamp. Go check it out. But that is the only reason it's probably not down here, but Anime Reborn is going to sit right here. Next we have ALS, obviously everyone's big favorite game. Well, not so big anymore, but ALS. So Anime Last Stand, I think I'm going to put it right here at the top of B. I actually shit on the game a lot and hate on it a lot, but I do think there is a lot of substance there. The game updates so frequently that there is so much content to do in that game. The worst thing about ALS, I think that really keeps it from being up here, is the quality is pretty bad, if you want me to be honest. And also the power creep for the game is so bad, with the game requiring you to have basically avatar or higher in traits, and also every update power creeps the hell out of the last update's characters, which really sucks. But for that reason, I'm putting it top of B. Next we have Anime Guardians. Anime Guardians is kind of getting a resurgence, which is really cool to see. But Anime Guardians, I'm actually going to go ahead and put Anime Guardians right below Anime Final Strike. I actually think there is a lot of growth that Anime Guardians is getting, and I think it's really great to see because the game is pretty decent. It's almost like a power fantasy type tower defense game where characters' damages are just go crazy, and basically every character they make is good in some way or usable, which is really cool. I actually think I'm going to lower Anime Fantasy. Alright, so I actually think I'm going to move Ultimate Tower Defense down here because it updates too infrequently, in my opinion. And next up, we actually have Anime Fantasy Re. So Anime Fantasy Re, I'm also probably going to put in the meh tier. I'm probably going to put it below Ultimate Tower Defense. The game doesn't really bring anything unique to the table yet. It is still kind of a newer game. It's only gotten 2 or 3 updates. They abandoned it for a little bit, but they're also coming back to it very, very soon, which is great to see. Probably the best thing I think the game has is an in-game wiki. I know some of these games also have that, but in-game wikis should be in every game, in my opinion. It is such an amazing feature. And then finally, we have Anime Royale. So Anime Royale, I'm actually going to put right here at the top of meh. I think Anime Royale is a pretty good game. I just think it's held back, never updating and being literally abandoned but it does do some things really cool. I think some of the mechanics and ideas the game has are really, really cool. Some of these games don't even have it yet. I think how they do the trait system is almost perfect. I love it. And yeah, there's just some really cool stuff about Anime Royale. It's down here because, one, the quality is not super great, and also it never updates, which I'm taking all these games at their current. I'm not going off of peak or anything. This is just where they currently sit. But guys, I think that's going to be my tier list. If you disagree, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to, let me know down in the comments below. The reason S tier is empty is because I literally do not think, like I said earlier, there is a S tier game out right now. I think at one point, the original All-Star Tower Defense and the original Anime Adventures were both an S tier, but those days are far gone, and anime games have progressed so much to where there really isn't one. And like I said, I'm making a video going over some of the new games coming out. Make sure you guys go check that out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.